All right. Let's see.
It says
Waiting
live
for
on
it
my
to
end.
show up. Does it?
It says live on
I'm still
Facebook
waiting for
right
it to
now.
show. Oh, boom. Yep, we're live, guys.
Hey, Facebook
Welcome.
Let's go.
Welcome, guys.
Some celebration time.
Cinco de Mayo edition of Reinventing Real Estate, episode 4. With these two crazy cats. We got Creig, Northrop. Look at
Uno,
Creig.
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
I'm willing to bet he'll probably keep that on the whole time.
No, I'm going to take it off. I just got to say, though, but for your hat, you need to wear hats because your hair, Lord knows I can't get my hair done. And whoa, my hair's never been so long. But anyway, very proud of that today. And then
I was trying to find something to wear. And I'm glad one of us is spirited right now.
So whatever color you can match, it's got to be matchable, right? You got to stick with the style. So
I love it.
Fun stuff. But welcome. I'm excited about this, Colleen. I'm looking forward to it. And let's have some fun.
I love it. Thanks so much, guys, for joining. So this is episode 4 of Reinventing Real Estate. If you're just joining us for the first time, since it's only had 4 of these so far, we're calling it Reinventing Real Estate because we're really amidst a rapid evolution right now in the whole world, globally, but also in our local real estate market. So much so that I think on the other side of this pandemic, it's going to be a completely new landscape, hence a full reinvention. So the goal of these conversations that we're having are to bring on some of the most reputable people in our local real estate industry, these pros, I like to call them, and to share their perspectives on what they see that's happening, what they're actually doing about it, and what they think the future might hold, and where to go from here. So just a quick intro of both of these lovely gents on here. I'll start with Creig. So Creig doesn't really, if you're watching in Maryland, for sure, probably doesn't need an introduction. Probably seen him on Super Bowl commercials and everything else, but he's the owner, CEO, along with his wife, Carla, who I adore if you're watching. Hey, Carla, of Northrop Realty. And Northrop Realty, just a cool stat. And last year in 2019, they became $1 billion brokerage, which is groundbreaking. And I remember
Thanks a billion, I say, right? Thanks a billion.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I remember in 2018 when we featured Creig and his whole squad in Baltimore Real Producers magazine. We did a story, and it's just kind of cool because I actually reviewed it this morning to kind of remember some of the aspects of Creig I wanted to touch on. And I looked at the story, and it was just really cool to read that in that article that he was saying, kind of like I related to Babe Ruth calling his shot. He said, like, next year in 2019, we're going to be $1 billion brokerage. And it came to fruition because now we're in 2020 looking back, and it happened.
You can believe it, you can achieve it. And you got to put it out there first. So
there's a Craigism right there. I know we're going to have a lot of those today. So, so what I love about Creig, though, is he's an avid learner. He's always growing from others, and arguably you could say that he has all the answers because he's been in the business for so long and he's so wise. But what's great is that's what keeps him so fresh, and that's what keeps him constantly learning and growing, is going out there and absorbing more information like a giant sponge. And then he takes that and then contributes it back to the community in a number of ways, which I really appreciate, both in terms of, like, he's a giver in terms of charitably. The whole organization gives back in a number of different ways, both donating time and funds and sponsoring various activities to help the community grow, which I appreciate. And what I also love about Creig is he calls himself a player coach, and it's so true, because he's still out there pounding the pavement, working with clients, staying fresh on everything that's happening, while also being the leader of the entire brokerage. So it's really cool to see that, and he's never getting separated from that identity. And then also I love to mention, because it's something that we relate on, he's a big fan of the Miracle Morning, and I see him constantly posting about the Miracle Morning. And if you're not familiar with the Miracle Morning, it's really just a routine, a system of starting your morning in a certain way that focuses on your self-development first, and getting in a right state of mind to tackle the day. And that the mornings are the Creig's best time of day, and it gets his head straight, and that's why he crushes it. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, the other thing I do love, though, I will mention this, is it's really a family business. And it's a family business for two reasons. I mean, one, it's actually a family business because, you know, Northrop Realty, there's all these Northrops, all their kids, the parents, all of the people in their family actually work with them, which is really amazing to see and rare. And it's also a family business because even those that aren't blood related, they really have this family culture, which everyone that works at Northrop talks about. And they really do mention it when we talk to them about what they love about being there. And even there's multi-generational families within Northrop that aren't Northrop that actually work there, parents, kids, their kids. So it's really an amazing culture. And then we have awesome Jason Moyer. So Jason Moyer is here.
Hey there. How's everybody doing?
So Jason is the vice president of Moyer and Sons Moving and Storage, and they're one of our preferred partners of Baltimore Real Producers, which all that really means is they're the best in business. They've been referred highly by all the top local real estate agents as being the best mover to work with of choice. So we brought them on a couple years ago, and I've been to Clarksburg, which is where Jason's right now, and that's their headquarters. Office. Yep, I've been in that office, and it's an amazing facility. In fact, like the history is they started in 1969, so they've been around a long time. And his grandfather started it. It's what I love about having both of these guys on the same call is they're all about the family business, and I think there's a lot of alignment with that. And so his grandfather started it. They've just obviously grown hugely since then, and they're up to 84 employees now. And it really just has, it's their actual family, but it really has the same culture as Northrop. It's that family feel. They really take care of people. And now they have two locations, one in Clarksburg, one in Elkridge. And they're in 48 states. I mean, they go to 48 states, and they can get you anywhere in the world, which is really amazing. And they've really grown their business heavily on word of mouth, which I just respect when you can grow it so big. And that just shows that you're doing the right thing in a way. It doesn't mean that people who advertise, like it's a good thing to advertise to get more, but it's amazing that the success that you've had without having to do much of advertising. It just means your reputation is really, really strong. And then you have a family with, you got a wife, two boys, 15 and 7, which I'll see how they're doing when I ask your first question with this whole pandemic situation. But another thing worth noting is you are on the board of the Maryland Movers Association. And this is just a really cool factoid that I just learned about you. You helped get moving regulated in the state of Maryland because previously it was not regulated.
We were called the Wild Wild West.
It's crazy. I didn't have no idea. Like, you know, so that's amazing that you were a part of that. So well done. Yeah, well freaking done. So, okay, let's get to the questions. I know I love doing these long intros because I just think that you guys are amazing, but I'll do a little less talking now. So, Creig, let's start with you. So just tell us kind of the state of the union, so to speak. How are you doing? How's the family doing? Day to day, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like how's your state right now going through?
Our state's fantastic. I mean, in all fairness, they're doing amazing. Very proud of our kids and everyone doing things safely. Been at home, kind of still being efficient, still doing their thing, and just been proud. I mean, if anything, what's come out of this is just the proudness of seeing characters built, through the adversity. Adversity exposes character. And I tell you, the character of this company has exposed itself so amazingly right now. I'm just so proud of not only our kids, our family, along with everyone in this company. Absolutely fantastic.
I think that's cool too, because there's a lot of people that when you say fantastic, they may be like, but is it really fantastic?
I know.
But something I've learned about you, Creig, is like how you are on air is how you are in person.
Right. This is my lifestyle. Is what I do every day. Right.
Yeah. And like, first impression, people may think that you're just on or you're acting. But and it really took getting to know you better through telling your story in the magazine and interacting with you more. Because to be honest, like I didn't know if that was true or not because I didn't know you that well, but it's been just cool to get to know you at a deeper level and to see that is just who you are. It's just this beacon of energy and it's not a ruse. That's what I really appreciate.
I appreciate that. And it's interesting to hear the reactions after I say fantastic. They're like, oh my gosh, I asked this question to everyone and no one's given me that. It's kind of interesting to see the difference now, how people are actually seeing, because I've been saying that forever. This isn't anything that's changed. in my world, but the world's changed. And
Yeah.
so the reaction has changed to that word. And it's kind of been interesting, actually. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, like with things going well and everything, how have you started to adapt to this new normal? But I guess you could talk personally or professionally, but what changes have you made in reaction to everything going on?
well, I think we become better versions of ourselves. And I think the first step is it starts with, in my mindset, you got to first keep that routine going, right? You got to keep a routine. I mean, yes, the world has thrown us stay at home. Yes, the world has thrown us all things. We can't control any of that, right? All we can do is control the reaction to it. So really, first thing is don't change something for it. Don't stop your routines, that time blocking, get dressed every day. Listen, I've been dressed since day one. It's not changed me. I wouldn't allow that. And I think that's important, because actually what's amazing is, and I'll get to this when we get into the business side, I call it the song, Who's Let the Buyers Out? It is, buyers are out. They're like now, and they're like pent up demand. It's like, who let the buyers out? Oh my God. My showings are my sellers have stopped. They literally said, I can't take any more showings. They literally told me to stop. It's pretty cool. Right. But that's what I'm talking about. So first and foremost, of course, keep your routine every morning. The 20-20-20 principle. It's, as you already mentioned, the miracle morning, it's the run, read, reflect conversation. It's that first hour you start up, do some exercise, do some reading, reflect, and then reflect, do meditation, whatever that is. That first hour of the day is the most important. Your brain's the most active. Really make a point of that. So keeping your routine is definitely it. Keeping your level of discipline, things like that. Then, of course, safety. Safety is second, number two. And these are the couple of the steps I mentioned about, these adapting to this new normal. The stick to the routine, the safety first, master virtual staging. That's all new. We'll talk a little more about the mastering all the virtual selling that's happening out there. Get back to the basics. Don't forget about your clients. I call it care calls. And most importantly, focus on the positive. Because it's like a reaction. Right? Everything is a reaction. So if you want positive reaction, you got to create positive, right? So I say positive attitude brings positive action, creating positive energy, which turns into hope. We all want hope, right? And I think that's really what we in our profession owe the world is positivity and creating hope. That we are coming through this. There is light at the tunnel, and we will. And I'm telling you, it's amazing what I've seen because I am in the field and I do see what's out there. And it's very exciting for being in real estate right now. Honestly, is with everything going on. So very, very excited.
Yeah.
It's like the old saying, event plus response equals outcome.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
I love that, Jason. And one more thing, Creig, on that. So related to the business side. So when you talked about, going virtual, what have you guys noticed is working right now? What's working at Northrop in terms of converting virtual that maybe you weren't doing before, or maybe you were, but now you're just doing more of it?
I couldn't imagine in 35 years, truly, I'm doing business, to never walk into someone's home to list a house. Couldn't imagine it. I actually done FaceTime. I've actually done listing on FaceTime. Oh my God, I give total credit to my wife who said, you need to try this new thing, and so I did. And actually I competed with 3 other agents that went to the appointment that actually were physically there. And the seller appreciated the safety first mentality that we basically was, hey, I appreciate that. And you're professional and all of that. I literally did the interview over FaceTime, got the appointment. That's it. And I give a shout out to one of our agents, Stephanie McClellan's got 5 listings virtually without even walking in the home. That never in my career has ever happened, ever. Virtual list appointments, actually getting them. Then take it even a step further, virtual staging appointments. Oh my gosh, we've actually now done virtual staging appointments where they're not even going in the homes. We are not interrupting the seller's lives at all right now, except the photographer. That's it. Then you got drive-by appraisers because we're giving them floor plans and everything they need. They don't need to go in the houses right now, which is great. You got e-signatures, which is great because they don't have to come to settlements at this point. Even they can do pre-signing and do things like that. So, I mean, it's just the world has revolved around this virtual that is making our lives easier. As real estate agents, actually our lives are becoming easier. We just felt we had to do more. And it's kind of amazing thought as I'm walking and talking through this with you, like, wow, why did it take me 35 years to figure out that I don't have to be in everybody's house, that I can work through technology? Why does it take, we can stage houses? Why can't we do settlements, that electronically? I don't, these are the things that are progressing over time. Appraisers, what are they really seeing in the house? I mean, outside of they taking pictures, well, guess what? We take pictures of the house. And now they love that we give floor plans for every property. So these are the really kind of neat things that have come. There's silver lining. That is truly the silver lining that's come out of this. 100%. We are a better virtual company than we've ever been. And our website's up 100%. 100%. I mean, they don't get any better than 100%. I mean, it's just, there's no number. It's like the best. It's like blowing out. It's good stuff. But that's what you look for. And we couldn't get that before. We just sit there and, you just wait. They call it the 3 Ps. They put up a sign, they put it on MLS, and they pray. Pray for what? A showing. Pray for what? A selling. Well, guess what? They're all happy. You pray for buyers. There's lots of them right now. So as my wife always says, you be careful what you wish for. We're getting a lot of what we wish for, a lot more time, a lot more, this kind of thing that's happening. So, it's just, embrace it. Embrace technology. Adapt. You got to adapt right now. And that's what Northrop Realty is doing. We're adapting and we're coaching. Adapting and coaching and over communicating, right? You got to do that, and that's so important right now, with whether you're a brokerage, team leader, or just an individual agent. Because guess what? You got to coach you first. You can't coach yourself first. You can't coach anyone else. And, I think that's so valuable right now in everything.
And I know you guys constantly had different classes and trainings for your agents. Have those moved virtual?
All of them, yes.
Yeah.
We call it around the Zoom. Actually, we got around the Zoom, kind of fun. But we a lot of every week we do an hour power. So we are having different panelists. Last weekend was we call them Rising Rock Stars, where we had a couple of your 30 under 30 agents there: Talon Zinger, Dan Cohen, Jake Northrop, and actually another one was April Zeller, who had her best month she ever had in April. Like what? Like, wow. Say that again? Come on, that's the good stuff. So so these panels we have Barbara Maloney, that is the top teacher in all of Maryland. She now manages for us. And so she's really doing a lot of that education as well, bringing that education to Northrop Realty. So we've got classes pretty much every day. We are touching base, training them, and really kind of, sharpen that axe. We are really getting it ready. So if you can't get out there in the field right now, why don't you learn how to be better in the field, right? Yeah. And that's what we're really doing. And it's been so rewarding and taking your mind off what you can't control. And what you can control is that attitude, that adjustment, that, the need to learn. Everyone should learn more. You learn more, you earn more. I mean, that's really been our principle through this.
You know what?
I was waiting for that one.
It's funny listening to you talk about waiting 35 years, right, to realize you can use the technology. Because there's one thing about the real estate business as a whole that I always compliment, is that there's certain things that they've pushed forward in technology. So using floor plans and helping people in that way, the online presence of houses now with pictures on Redfin, Zillow, Real Estate, your own website, all these other different websites, right? Because these are tools I've used for the last 10 years, right? So going virtually is now my salespeople, my estimators, my surveyors, they're now getting used to virtual surveys. Where I've been doing them since FaceTime came out. I was like, oh, well, you're in California. I can't drive to California. So you have an iPhone. Let's go ahead and get up on FaceTime. And I think the hardest thing to hump to get over, and before I go any further, let me just say I can't wait to read The Miracle Morning, because if I get half the energy Creig has, I'm going to be doing okay.
Right.
Bring it on, baby.
I feel like I'm good energy, and I have,
it's contagious, isn't it?
It's contagious. It is. I coach with a professional player, and we'll go to practice at 7 o'clock at night. He's like, I don't understand how you get all this energy, Jason. I was like, well, that's 2 shots of espresso at 5 o'clock and being ready to go. But the innovation is here, right? It's been here for a while. And I think some people will struggle to push forward, and some people will see the opportunity to learn this new process and be able to utilize it. Obviously, we want that face-to-face. We want that time to talk, sit down with people and build that relationship. But if you're natural on this and you are who you are, even through a video chat or a conference, that's going to come through anyways, right? So that's the one thing when I sat down with them and we had a meeting last week was like, just relax. You guys are kind of like getting all, is this going, is it, you're going like robotic, just relax, be natural. You're still going to win based on your personality. And we've been doing this for 51 years. We're not reinventing everything. We're doing the same thing. We're just talking over an iPad or a computer or all these different tools that we have now. I love it. It's pushing us. It is forcing my hand to do certain things right now to push us as a whole moving forward, right? Right now, I'm a server-based software, so I'm tied to my office. Well, I've been talking about going cloud-based for 3 years. Guess what we're doing? And I'll make a decision on Wednesday and we'll move forward. Go cloud-based. So, and that'll go back to being able to help the realtor. So look, I don't want phone calls every night at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, but if there is a problem and you have to call me, I can go right on my cell phone into our system, look it up and find the solution, and we're done. So I do love that part, but it's funny hearing you say that, because I always felt like real estate kind of pushed the envelope in certain ways with technology. So it's kind of funny to hear you say that, but again, it's that face-to-face. I don't want to lose that, right? I just want to be able to utilize this moving forward with the old way of doing it, which was in person. So
I don't think
funny
we'll
to hear
ever
you say.
change the interactive face-to-face, because the computer can only do so much, right? I mean, I think it's great. We talk and we get to know each other, but there's a little bit more emotion with the body, and you can kind of get a little bit more empathy. And I think you can get much more emotion, which is the difference between a computer and a human, is that we have emotions, right? And that's why we can't be replaced, right? So I think getting in front of them, what I've noticed while I've been back in the field is you miss that. You miss that emotional state, that intriguing learning something from everyone you meet and finding how to help them in their situation. The bigger the problem you solve, the more your income is based on it. I think that's what we as real estate agents get frustrated. We feel like we're tied down, and it's funny because Jeanette Westcott was on, here's your red chair. It's kind of funny. I heard her say that on your interview.
Yeah. And speaking of, emotions and whatnot, how are you doing, Jason, overall? Like, how's your family handling this? How are you managing with your two little ones?
I wish I had that same energy. You know what? I'm actually doing great. And I'll tell you what, about week 2 into this, I had, for the first time in my life, I had a panic attack, a full on. And it was because I was concentrating so much on the numbers and the negative and this and everything that was so negative, it just finally took its toll, right? So we're doing everything we can and putting everything in place for everybody to be safe. What routines do we have to get into, but we're still going out into unknown factors, and that's hard. It's hard to realize that I can only control so much of the environment that these men and women are going out and going into face every day. But on a personal level, I went through that, and I'm down 20 pounds. I started, I'm walking. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm trying to get out. I'm just trying to get out and walk more. And I think Creig said it earlier, and I said the same thing to my kids. You can either sulk in this and be upset about everything that's happening, or you can find the time to get better at something. I don't care what it is, play guitar, learn a different language, read more books, just do something. Unfortunately, I have a 15-year-old who just wants to get better at video games. And then the 7-year-old, he's all over the place. But and my wife, it's all good. We switch routines, so I come in the office a little bit later in the day. So no, I'm homeschooling, or I'm going to start trying to homeschool the 7-year-old. I've done 2 days so far, and it's gone okay. But everybody's, I won't say just okay. We're great. I mean, we're in a much more comfortable position than most, and it's again, it's the outlook of everything. How do you want to look at it? How do you want to get through it? What do you want to get out of this when it's all done? It's something. I used to be a germaphobe. It kind of went away when I had a kid, and they're just disgusting little creatures, and you learn to get out of that phase, and then all this happens again. I find myself having to fight the urge to want to go back to that way of being a germaphobe and not wanting to. Oh God. Hitting my head. I'm not wanting to touch people, but you know what? It's just getting through it all, and I'm actually I'm in a really, really good place right now, and I'm looking forward to all the things that are happening and all the work that we got to put in to move forward.
Love your mindset. You can be better or bitter, you pick, right? And you are great job. Just good stuff. I love hearing that.
Yeah. Well, I did get caught up, but I had to walk myself away from that, because it's again, what are we feeding our minds with? If I feed my minds watching the news with all the negativity, it's what my mind's going to be surrounded by. So I keep up to date track of what's going on, but I'm more focused on, I coach a 7th grade team. How do I do these Zoom meetings and get them involved weekly? How do I get my kids motivated to do things? How do I get all the people around, including myself? How do I become a better leader, teacher, coach, all of these things. So that's what I'm using this time to do.
I love it. And it's my principle when I say my passion for all of this in real estate and doing anything we do. First of all, we fuel the economy, by the way. Selling real estate does fuel it because it helps movers, right? I was just saying today, woke up 26 houses we sold yesterday. I mean, 26 people are going to move today, right? So that's that huge thing. That means appraisers are busy. That means lenders are busy. That means title's busy. That means everyone's busy. They buy 6 months from buying a house, they buy a car. They typically remodel their house. So there's all your tradesmen, your contractors are busy. Wow. It's just amazing how real estate has so much to do with how the economy is going to be. And we got to come back stronger and more confident. So I tell everybody, take your vitamin C. That's confidence. Every morning, you got to take that, because in order to really build it, you got to build your confidence in you first, but then you got to build consumer confidence, because all the market, how it stays is based on consumer confidence. So you got to keep building that. And the 3 points that I say we've learned so far of this, we're stronger. You're incredible, Jason, stronger minded, right? You are. You've come out and been stronger minded through this. You're a lot smarter, as I'm a lot smarter. Lord knows stuff I haven't done ever. And more importantly, we're safer. We're all being safe. And I think that you talked about the germaphobe and things like that. I think it's so important. I was never really aware of it as much as I've been now. It's so amazing. The awareness of safety has come out. I mean, our protocol to show houses, is absolutely amazing. We keep the seller comfortable because they know we have their best interest in hand. And so I think they've adapted. I think buyers and sellers have adapted faster than real estate agents, if I had to say it. I think they've understood and are ready, and and I think we just got to catch up with them a little bit. But I think we're doing a heck of a good job. So great job.
Yeah, Creig, how are you right now kind of preparing for the future and preparing those who you lead? And kind of what do you think the future might hold? None of us have a crystal ball, by the way. I'm just curious, looking ahead, how you think on the other side of this, quote unquote, whenever that may be, as things will be so radically changed, what do you think that's going to look like? What do you think how the real estate industry will function? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I think it'll condense. I think people are going to appreciate people more. I mean, I think the gift of gratitude has come out massively. And I think the people, people are going to want to know that you care before they know what care what you know, right? And I say that with passion, because I think care first and care calls and care matters is what carries us through this. And I think they're the people that get remembered, and I say that because, what you do through it makes every difference of what go afterwards. Right. So, and I hear a lot of agents, well, I don't know what to do. I mean, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. You have a database. I call it date your database, right? Get back to dating your base, follow up, follow through, follow back. That's your gold in the hills. You should be touching base with your clients right now more than ever. It's the best build trust factor time ever. And I say that because, we just don't sometimes look at the opportunities that way. We look at woe is me versus woe is what it is. And woe is what it is great opportunities. Lowest interest rates in 50 years. 50 years, the lowest interest rates. Lowest inventory I've ever seen. I mean, and so the demand is so much higher. Second homes, watch what happens. I put this post out yesterday that, Buffett said, the latitude will change your attitude, right? And it's funny because if you think about it, we all want to change the scenery. It's funny because now you have these things on Zoom where you can change your background in your scenery, or you can actually go buy a second home and really change your scenery. And so I think the second home market is going to go through the roof. I think the demand for buying is just going to continue very strongly, but I think they're going to go with people they trust more now than ever. I don't think some of these companies that are just basically number runners and things like that are going to thrive through this. I think the customer care person that cares about the experience, that plans on being there after this and really guides them right, is what's going to change a real estate business. That's why I believe a full service brokerage who can help you with just focusing on the client is so important right now. And I think that's where the revolutionary way of real estate is going to go, because the client demand is going to demand more of an agent, and they deserve it. and they absolutely deserve it. So you better give them that experience, and that's where they're going to gravitate to. I really, really believe that. And the one that protects them, their equity the most and gives them the best services are really going to be the everlaster of this business.
Yeah, well said. And one follow-up on that, you mentioned the care calls, and Jeanette called them compassion calls. I love it. Any tips or advice? You know, I know I've talked to a lot of agents who they know they should be touching base with their database and dating their database, as you said, but they don't necessarily know what to say. You know, like they don't want to come across as like cheesy or, you know, like they have an ulterior motive. You know, they want to be genuinely coming across, but it's also a purposeful and strategic act. Like it has to be like they do care, but they're also, you know, they're calling because they also want to remind them that they're an agent, not necessarily like blatantly, but just to kind of, you know, come back under the radar for them and into their circle of consciousness. So is there anything in particular that either you say, if you've done them, or that you coach, or that you've seen your agents do? Anything, any approach? Like it doesn't have to be word for word. I'm just curious.
The first thing is you got to make the call, right?
That's the scariest part.
Right? Sounds good. Or we wait for that voicemail, or we text, or we email. This is not a time to do any of them three. Not to leave a voicemail. And if you do, of course, do leave one. It's rude to not leave a voicemail. But ideally, it's not the time. It's not the time to text. It's not the time to email. It's time for personal connection calls. It's very important right now. Make the call. Then, guys, you have like 5 things. Actually, after this, we're doing a live very similar to this to our brokerage, you know, kind of talking about this exact question. So it's a great question right now. And I've outlined 5 different scripts for 5 different things you can talk about right now to your clients. 1, Sunday's Mother's Day. Mother's Day, actually, we don't even do open houses on Mother's Day. We respect the mothers so much, especially in our brokerage and in company, is that we don't do we never have. I mean, you're not doing open houses right now. Anyway, we're doing virtually, which is actually another point to our virtual thing. But anyway, so Mother's Day. Hey, welcome. Happy Mother's Day. We're thinking about you. Saying just thinking about you goes so far. What I did is I took our brokerage and we did, I had them all together and we kind of talked. We did it for an hour and a half. We did 30 care calls, and you could not leave a message. You had to talk to somebody. And let me tell you this, I called some of my friends that just said, you know, everyone talks about saying, you know, they're checking in with you. No one does. You know, one of them almost cried just for the call, right? So it was pretty amazing how much we assume people don't want to hear from us, or we're annoying, or we don't have anything to say. But that was definitely what goes a long way. Just make the call. That's my first point. Second thing, other things to talk about. May is the #1 month in real estate. Guys, you sell real estate. What an easy way to talk. It's absolutely amazing. Is this a great time to sell your house? You know, should I, you know, yes. I mean, what do you want? I mean, you want the silver platter right here. It's a great month to sell real estate. So it's we call it the most amazing month of the year. And it's amazing. I'll let you catch on. There you go. I got it. But can I sell my home in May? Yes, you may. Right? It's the most amazing month. Again,
Dr. Seuss up in here.
Right? The next one, you can talk about the lowest interest rates in 50 years. Guys, you have a lot to talk about, right? There's no reason. There's also other ones like great time to get pictures, best time to get pictures. People are so proud of their outside right now. It's been raining so much, the green grasses, the flowers are blooming, trees are blooming. It's beautiful. Great time to take pictures. What a great opportunity to get yourself in the door. You know, buyer demand is so high. Who let the buyers out? You got to do that. That's going to be a new one. I'm going to watch you. I'm guaranteeing you're going to do this new jam.
Let the buyers out.
Yeah, see? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So tell what they love to hear is success stories, right? So share a success story of another client of yours that has had experience through this, that sold in multiple offers, only had to show it one day, or even better yet, the company have sold over 50 houses virtually in the month of April. I mean, we sold 250 houses total, and 50 of them were total virtual. So that's just an amazing stat. Mr. Seller, I'm scared. Okay, I respect scared. The only person that's to come in your house, we're not going to interrupt you at all in your lifestyle, is the photographer. And guess what? What a beautiful time to take pictures. And so that's the kind of thoughts and care that you have 5 ways to get to them, 5 ways to talk to them right now. So there shouldn't be any excuse to do it. And that's why I just get passionate about it, because to me, it's just make the call. 5 things. I'll give you the last 5 things here. Make the calls, again, very important. Sharpen your skills. If you need training, go to training, read some books in your trade. We do Northrop U, which is a university that trains our agents, right? We're training them every day, just so we are at 1 o'clock, right after this call. We are training them. We are keeping them, mindset matters. And I think that's important. Coaching, we do free coaching, all of that's important. Next one, do something special for someone. That also hits the heart, right? You guys do an amazing job every week. I love your weekly thing, giving back to the community. We did it as Northrop Realty. It was my wife and I did it with our kids. It was just good stuff. So thank you for allowing us to be part of it. I recognize Christy Nyhard, who is by far the biggest giver I've ever seen in my life of just giving back in this time. And then Trent is going to have Ron Howard bald on May 7th at 7 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see Ron Howard. You hear it here first. Ron Howard will be bald at 7 p.m. on May 7th, ladies and gentlemen. You will be set on that. And then the last 2 points, create a video, create something, get yourself out there. Don't be a secret agent through this. That's the other side of it. As you said, I challenge everybody. Be able to walk in a room not wearing a name tag, and let them know and they should know your name. That's how powerful video can be right now, because people are watching it so much. And last is move your body. You got to get out. You got to exercise, guys. Emotion creates emotion. You got to do that. So these are just some points following up on your question. I hope I answered it correctly.
You did. Well put. Lots of really good nuggets in there. We got like 25 people watching right now. This is awesome. I'm watching for questions I don't see. If anybody watching does have a question, feel free to pop it in. We may or may not have time. I'm going to try and check it before we close it out. But Jason, anything else you want to add just in terms of how Moyer and Sons is adapting to this? I know you talked about doing, virtual appointments and estimates and things like that. Or anything else you want to add in terms of like what agents watching or consumers should know about how you guys are conducting business right now?
We are all our surveys. So when these great realtors, when you all sell the houses, we're doing virtual surveys. So we're doing the same thing. We're not going in the houses right now. We can do it through Zoom. If we're friends on Facebook, I can do that. FaceTime, Skype, anything that you can get a video conference chat on, we can do and walk around the house. So, and this can be for multiple levels. It could be a whole house move. It could be for these clear out staging moves that we need to do, because that can still be no contact. So I can do the survey with you. Realtor can say, hey, I want A, B, C, D, E out of the house. You tag it, we can come in, pick it up, get out of your house, and you move on. And, so there's so many different ways we can still help each other in the community by doing that. We have so many, COVID-19 restrictions in place right now to try to keep everyone safe, right? From anybody and everybody that's going to be part of that move, we have systems in place. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we started a second company March 1st, which is a Moyer Move Management company.
Oh, really?
Which is to help move management. Yep. And we're about 2 weeks in, and then all this happened. So, that's going to cater more towards retirement homes and things. But the point is, there's so many good people working here, and there's so many different things going into place, plans of action, plans. What can we do now that's going to help now, and that we can implement again when we kind of move forward and get more normalized, right? So, right now we're trying to, how can I do it if I have 3 guys in the building, 3 guys out of the building? So we're limiting the amount of traffic we have, or 2 and 2. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff, and there's so many good people working here running their minds. But no, everything we're doing box deliveries can be no touch box deliveries. You need moving boxes, we can bring them to you, no touch. We kind of cut out, we do offer used boxes at no charge. Right now, got to kind of cut that one out, right? But we can still get boxes, materials, anything, so you don't have to run to Home Depot or Lowe's where there's 18,000 people over the weekend. So we can still keep you safe that way. So all of that. And then again, I'm implementing now things. I got to make a decision tomorrow, and we'll move forward with our software, and that'll have us more into the cloud-based system where we can help you from anywhere, anytime. I don't have to say, I got to call you back. I go to the office to find out. It's funny. It seemed old 3 months ago. It now seems ancient 3 months later. You
Yeah.
know, it was like, it was enough you could deal with it and kind of get away with it. Now it's like, man, that's just like, we are so far behind. So I can't say it enough. I'm so much looking forward to moving forward because there's just so much. I think if you, again, it's the mindset. There's so much good stuff happening. You know, and it starts with realtors and it trickles down to everybody. I mean, I think all the lenders, the title companies, the contractors, everybody that's involved in this is having to up their game. And listen, sink or swim. You're either going to swim fast and figure out how to do it, or you're going to sink because I don't do it that way. That's not the way I do it, right? You got to go. If you want to swim fast.
Fantastic words. Great
So,
I love that. I love that. And I love to, I know Creig loves it too. I love the mindset shift. And I think anyone watching can relate to what you went through, which is like, if I were to article title it, you know, from panic attack to abundance, you know, because a lot of us, whether it was an actual panic attack that we had, you know, that's really scary. My wife's had a number of those in the past. Or just, you know, we've all had breakdowns at some point. And so we have to like reach that low to then kind of see the light, so to speak. So, you know, you had that amazing mindset shift, and I can hear it coming through of focusing on the good, focusing on what you're grateful for, what we do have, and the opportunities that are present. Because I had to go through the exact same thing. I think it's extremely relatable.
Sometimes you have to listen to your own advice, right? So we talk about, you know, I always go back, and you could say you coach employees or coach these people. I always go back to my seventh graders. I've been with them for 3 years, and I'm giving them all this life advice, right? Because it can't just be about sports. What are you going to get out of this game that can help you in life, right? And I give them all these words of advice, and I find myself, you know, at that time, and I was like, "What? You're always telling them all these positive things in positive way. Like you're in a game and you're down by 2 goals, and you can't just put your head down like it's over, we're lost, right? You got to say there's ebbs and flows of anything, life, games, whatever it is. There's going to be ups and downs, right? So it's kind of just like listening to your own advice. If you're going to give people solid and good advice, listen to it yourself. It's that simple.
Yes. Yes. Well, guys, we are just at 40 minutes. Perfect timing. I'll just say, any last words from either of you guys? Anything you want to end on? This has been an amazing episode. You don't have to. Just throwing it out there.
I mean, I think, first of all, I think adapting to the new normal, I think we've talked through that now. I think we understand. I think everyone from from doing this is going to understand what the new normal looks like. I think this is one of the most informative ones there. I think it's going to be beneficial. Every level is a different devil. So we obviously, you know, are trying to get the next level through this, you know, go through it, you grow through it. I mean, these are just different thought processes, but it all starts with mindset. Jason said it great. I loved what he said. And I think I'm very confident that we are going to adapt to this. We're fighters. Real estate agents are always the ones that go through it quickly. They figure it out, they adapt, and they make it better. So I compliment all the great realtors out there. I think they're doing an amazing job. And I call it KMF, keep moving forward, which is what echoing what Jason said. You know, you've got to just keep doing that. And I think, you know, I know we're going to get out of this, and we know it shall pass. We've talked through this. So it starts with you. Build that confidence, get that readiness, know that you have plenty to talk to. People want to hear from you. Don't assume they don't. And really kind of be the voice. Be that voice of care right now, because we need it. We're all in this together. No one's immune by this, by the way. So it's amazing how much, this is one of the first times we're all immune to it. It's not like one side or the other. So over communicate is the secret sauce into making sure that you let everyone know. And most importantly, I want to wish all mothers out there a happy Mother's Day for Sunday, which you put out this great, beautiful mothers there on your cover here. Just want to acknowledge that, Colleen, because you're our amazing person in foresight of putting this cover out at the timing. It just came out this week. And I was proud of a lot of our Northrop Realty agents being on the top 200 as well. So thank you for putting that out, Colleen.
Love that. And I just came up with a challenge/game. Anyone watching this, just to have some fun. If you can go back and watch this recording and list out every single Creig-ism that you heard, and that includes anything that rhymed, anything that was like you go through it, you grow through it. I won't give them all away, but he had like 4 just in that last piece. So it's going to be a long list. And by the way, I love them, Creig. This is not me making fun of you. I actually think it's kind of like songs. When you sing a song, you remember it better. And it gets you at like a deep level. And so I see those Craigisms as that, but I also think it's hilarious how they just flow out of you. So I want to challenge anybody watching this to go document every Craigism. I'll watch 2, and hopefully I'll get them all. And then if you get them all, I'll donate $100 to a charity of your choice just to have
I'll
some
double
fun.
it. I'll double it.
Craig's
no
doubling it.
Yeah, I'm doubling it.
I'll match it.
Oh my God,
Jason, you're on.
and
tripled
Jason's
it.
matching it.
Trifecta. This
That's
is
what I'll
Cinco
match
de
it.
Mayo
Yeah.
Day.
So we got
go.
$300 to a charity of your
Nice.
choice. Go back and watch it, and that's actually pretty fun. I like that.
Amazing idea.
There you go.
There's one right there.
You gave it away already.
Amazing. Oh my
Real
God, I
quick,
love it.
I just want to say, everybody be safe. It's funny that reaching out to the community like this is so. I've done it so much more now that we can't go out and talk to each other. I'm not a big networking guy in going into groups, but I'm finding the comfort zone in doing this. And I'll offer the same thing to anybody. If anybody out there ever just needs somebody to talk to, call me. Reach me out on me on Facebook. Anything you want to do. Be safe out there, mothers. I'm going to echo that. I love mothers. My mom, my wife, my family members, and all the other women out there raising great kids. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you
Day
guys.
well. So happy Mother's
This
Day.
was beautiful. Well, thank you guys for watching on Facebook Live. I didn't see any questions pop in. Someone comment. Will said 77 of them. He's already counting the Craigisms. He said 77. We'll see if Will's correct. I'm curious to see if somebody actually goes and does that. I mean, that's pretty great. $300 to a charity. So
I'm with you.
yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, this has been fabulous, amazing, and I will talk to you guys soon. You guys can stay on for just a second. I'm going to keep you on Zoom, but I'm going to end the Facebook
I'm going to
Live,
finish with one last thing, though, Colleen. You are amazing. Thank you for everything
you are.
do for the real estate
Thank you,
community
guys.
and
Colleen.
all the affiliates that do it. You just are. You're actually one of the most amazing women I know. So great job.
Wow, thank you.
You're okay, Colleen.
That's a perfect note to end on. All right. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.